Hari Om, everyone. We will start this month's lecture on Atma Bodha. So before that, we'll have prayer. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Shrutismriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam. Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Hari Om. So last month we have studied Atma Bodha. We have completed 7 verses. So in these 7 verses, in this beautiful Atma Bodha is a wonderful text which gives us the essence of Vedanta. Without going into intricate arguments, what is the essence, the final conclusions of Vedanta? So in this Atma Bodha, we have seen that almost every shloka will have an example. So basically, what is the contention here is that through jnanam alone, realization takes place. Jnana means what? Awakening. Awakening means what? Knowing our own self. So what is the other meaning of Atma? For the word Atma, meaning of Atma is I. Not ego I. Shuddha ahankara nahi. Sorry, Shuddha aham. Not ahankara. Shuddha aham, the pure I, is the meaning of Atma. So now that Atman has to be realized. But then what is happening? Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Ajnana kalusham jivam jnanabhyasat vinirmalam. So since we are tainted by Ajnana, avidya, meaning what? Considering anatma as atma, considering unreal as real, and it is not easy. So body is not I know theoretically. But to establish in this, we need lot of practice of withdrawal, establishing in Vedantic knowledge. Therefore, jnanabhyasat vinirmalam. So through the abhyasa of jnana, when the individual becomes extremely purified, then what happens? That knowledge, the last month we have seen, that knowledge which is gained, vritti jnanam, removes the avidya, and that afterwards this vritti jnanam also dissolves, and what remains is the pure self. So therefore, we have to awaken from the samsara. Shankaracharya says it is swapnatulyohi, ragadi, ragadveshadi sankulaha. So the samsara is like a dream. Dream means what? As long as we are experiencing dream, it appears to be real for us. But from the waking point of view, only after I wake up, I would know that the dream was unreal. Similarly, we have to wake up to another state of consciousness by the grace of Guru, Shastra, and Ishvara. If we raise to that higher level of dimension of consciousness, then we will know that everything is like appearance only. It has nothing, no stuff inside. So therefore, Swakale Satyavat Bhati. So at a time of experience, it becomes so real. Pain is real, sorrow seems to be real, and the illusions and are so powerful that we cannot say no to them. We will be forced to attend to them, thinking that they are real. Only when I wake up, I will know that that was all dream. So, Prabodhe Satyavat, Prabodhe Sati Asat Bhavet. When we awaken to the truth, then only we will realize all this is Asat. Therefore, Tavat Satyam Jagat Bhati. So, as long as we are not able to realize the truth, Yavan Najnayate Brahma, Sarva Adhishtanam Advayam Brahma, that Advaya Brahma, as long as we are unable to know it, experience it, meaning awakening to that state of consciousness, to that dimension of consciousness, till then, Jagat Satyavat Bhati. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya is acknowledging it appears to be so real for us. But only after awakening we will know. So, how to escape the sorrows of the world, sorrows of life? Only by awakening. There is no other way. So, this is what has been concluded in the 7th verse of Atma Bodha we have seen last month. Now we shall see what Bhagavan Shankaracharya is going to give Upadesha to us from 8th verse onwards. So I will read this. You can repeat after me. Second time also I will chant. So I think those who have textbooks in front of you, you can also chant with me. Upadane kiladhare, Upadane kiladhare, Jaganti Parameshware, Jaganti Parameshware, Sargastitilayan yanti, Sargastitilayan yanti, Budbudani Varini, Budbudani Varini. Now, here earlier we saw Adhyastha and Adhishtanam. Sarva Adhishtanam Advayam Brahma. It was said. Advaya Brahma is Sarva Adhishtanam. And that Advaya Brahma becomes Ishvara when he identifies with Maya Upadhi. Meaning what? For example, a person is there who is a speaker. When he becomes a speaker, when is he called a speaker? Or why is he called speaker? Or for example, he, the individual, has an inherent ability to speak. So whenever he invokes his speaking ability, the power of speaking, he invokes. The power of speaking is in him. So when he invokes the power of speaking and identifies with that power of speaking, then he is called as speaker. Beautiful. So then he becomes speaker. Otherwise, a person quietly sitting in one place, he may be a good speaker, but you cannot know him that he is a speaker because you don't know him. You have never seen him speaking in a public platform, in a public place. So you cannot infer also that he is a speaker. But when he starts giving a lecture on a subject, then what is the process happening? He knows that he has a power of speaking. He invokes the power of speaking, identifies with the power of speaking, and then he becomes a speaker. Similarly, Brahma, Sarva Adhishtanam Brahma, the substratum of all, that supreme Brahman, when he realizes himself, in himself, that potentiality in him, Maya Shakti, then he identifies himself with the Maya, he becomes Ishvaraha. So that Ishvara is Upadana Karanam, material cause of the universe. Ishvara is material cause of the universe. So for any construction or anything creation, there must be three causes are required. One is instrument cause, material cause, and efficient cause. There must be a nimitta karana, upadana karana. Otherwise, if there is no nimitta, efficient cause who is making, there cannot be any creation. And there must be material also. In the case of Srishti, since there is nobody other than Ishvaraha, so Ishvara is called as what? Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. Abhinna means what? No separation. It is not separate. There is no difference between nimitta karanam and upadana karanam, efficient cause and material cause. So Ishvara himself is the efficient cause. Ishvara himself is the material, the building material of the entire universe creation. Which is that Ishvara material is called Maya Visishta Upadhi Chaitanyam. Ishvaraha is the Upadana Karanam. So the Ishvara is Upadana Karanam, Upadane, and that Upadanam is Akhiladhare, Parameshware, that Parameshwara, who is Akhila Adhara. Why? Because wherever there is ornament, there the gold must be there. Wherever there are pots, there the mud as Adhisthana should be there. Similarly, whatever is created, both gross and subtle, there must be an Adhisthana. That Karanam should not be away from the Karyam. So Karana, Karya, Karana Sambandham, the cause and effect relationship. The cause itself appears to be as an effect. So from the effect, cause can never be removed, separated. From the ornament, the cause, the gold can never be separated. From the mud, pot, the mud can never be separated. Because wherever there is Nama and Rupa, whatever is created, the substratum of all of that is Brahma. Therefore, if you really understand, if Ishvara himself is both Nimitta Karanam and Upadana Karanam, both efficient cause and material cause, so whatever you touch, everything is Ishvara only. So that Parameshwaraha, Upadane, that Upadana Karanam, which is Akhila Adhara, Parameshware, in that Supreme Ishvaraha, who is the substratum of everything, Akhila Adhare, Jaganti, Sargasthitilayan Yanti. Jaganti means plural. of the worlds. So many worlds are created. Grosser worlds, subtler worlds. You take, you see, for example, grosser world you take, gross world, that which we can see through senses. Is there any limit for this? You can travel into space, infinite space. There are billions and billions and billions of galaxies and stars and countless dancing this entire creation. Physical creation is so much, so vast it is. Then what about other subtle creations which we cannot see through sense organs? So therefore, there are innumerable worlds are there. That's why we say Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. So many crores and crores and crores and meaning infinite. Even in the science also we speak about multiverses, not only universe, not only one universe. Multiverses are there. So all these things, vast creation, various worlds are taking birth, lives for some time, and again disappears into space. I'm talking of physical. You take any star system, you take any galaxy, you take. There's a galactic center into which everything will be sucked in time. Now the galaxy, some of it is expanding, but after some time it sucks into it and disappears everything. Then again after some time something comes out of it. Srushti, creation, then plays for some time, sthiti, and again merges back. So these innumerable worlds are taking birth, exist for a few moments from the eternity time, exist for some time, and merges back into this. The same thought told by Shuka Maharshi to Parikshit Maharaj. He says, this entire world, the creation, so many things, it erupts in the infinite consciousness of Narayana, exists for few moments and merges. And he says, the entire birth of this Brahmandas, its existence, and again disappearance is equal to a wink to the Parabrahma Parameshwara. If he winks once like this, that's it. Universes have come, existed, and disappeared. So in that vast consciousness, universal existence, that Brahma Chaitanyam, that is you and I. Only one Chaitanyam is there. So in that Brahma Chaitanyam, so many worlds are taking birth, exist, again layam yanti, dissolve. How? Varini budbudani iva, in the water like drops like water, like drops in the water, bubbles in the water, like a bubble rise, exist, burst. Each bubble rises, for some time it exists, it again merges into water. Similarly, in the infinite ocean, probably you can imagine that there is vast infinite space. Each bubble is like a universe, rising and coming and existing, and so many are rising, so many are dissolving, so many are seems to be existing in between. So therefore, in this creation, the Chaitanyam is Adhishtanam for everything. And it is an experience. It is an experience of Mahatmas. So it is not a jadoo, it is not a theory, it is not an idea, it is not a notion, it is not a projection, it is not a poetry, it is not a wishful thinking, but it is a fact. Therefore, in that Akhiladhare Parameshware Upadane, All these worlds appear and disappear. Appear, take birth and disappear. Appear for some time, like bubbles in the water. So beautiful. Therefore, Ishvara is such that consciousness which supports the rise and existence and disappearance of all the water, all the universes. Therefore, in Mayyeva Sakalam Jatam, May Sarvam Pratishtitam, Mayyeva Layam Yanti, that Brahman I am that Brahma Vastu. These are not Ishvare, Mayyeva Sakalam Jatam. In me alone, everything is born. In me alone, everything exists. Unto me alone, everything merges. That Brahma Chaitanyam is essentially me. Essentially, I am that Brahman. But now I am suffering in samsara because of ignorance. Even though I am suffering in samsara, thinking that I am the limited individual, even at the time of suffering, I am that Brahman alone. I am that pure consciousness alone. So this is the truth. So this is how 8th verse so beautifully explain that ultimate consciousness is me, and from you only everything comes up, in you only everything exists, in you only everything merges. That is the truth. So we will go to next verse. Satchidatmanyanusyute Satchidatmanyanusyute Nitye Vishnu Prakalpitaah Nitye Vishnu Prakalpitaah Vyaktayo Vividha Sarvaha Vyaktayo Vividha Sarvaha Hatake Katakadivat Hatake Katakadivat. Now, Satchidatmani Nitye Vishnu Prakalpitaha Anusyute. Beautiful thing. In that Satchidatmani, in that Satchidananda Swarupa, that is existence, consciousness, and blissful nature of that reality. Sat Chit Anand. That is Purna Sat, Purna Chit, Purna Ananda. It is. Satchidananda is Purnam. The pure existence it is. That existence is consciousness. It is not Jadam. And that is Pura. Everything is Anandamayam. Blissful. So in that Sat Chit Atmani, देखे Nitye Vishnu Prakalpitaha. What a beautiful thing. And in that Satchidananda Swarupa of Vishnu Tattva, here last verse, he used Ishvara, Parameshwara. Now Bhagavan Shankaracharya is using the word Vishnu. Means what? There is no difference between Vishnu and Shiva. Shiva, Keshavaya. There are not two. There is actually only one. That's why Bhagavan Shankaracharya uses somewhere Vishnu Shabda, somewhere Shiva Shabda or Ishvara Shabda, because all is one alone. Therefore, in that Satchidatmani, in that pure eternal consciousness of nature of pure existence, consciousness and bliss, Satchidatmani, Anusyute is interwoven. Anusyute Satchidatmani, Satchidatma, that it's all pervading. In and through of everything, this is present. And that is Nitye Vishnu. Who is he? Vishnu. Vishnu Swarupa. Sarva is Vyapakatvat. Everything is all pervading. Vyapnoti iti Vishnu. All pervading consciousness is Vishnu. In that Vishnu, Nitye, who is eternal Vishnu, who is none other than the nature of existence, consciousness, and bliss. Bliss is not used here. Satchidatmani. In that Vishnu, what is happening? Prakalpitaha. Very beautiful thing. Projected by imagination. In that Vishnu Tattva, everything is projected. Projected. What is the projection in that? The Maya projected. So with the help of Maya Shakti, that one Vishnu dancing, appearing as many. See, listen, I'll just ask you one thing. Just to, if a Jiva like you and I were very limited, where Jiva is what? Alpajnaha, Alpashaktiman, Alpavyapi, etc. We have localized consciousness alone. Our consciousness is not all pervading. Essentially, it is, but we are not identified with it so far. So, with a limited jiva like this, if this jiva with limited powers is capable of projecting a dream and creating sentient beings, insentient things, and a whole variety he can create in dream. How big he can create the dream world, no end, this capacity. But imagine in what way, what level Ishvara can project through his Maya Shakti, at what level he can create, imagine. What could be his power then? Therefore, Satchidanandatmani Anusyute Nitye Vishnu Prakalpitaha. What is Prakalpitaha? Projected. What is projected? Vyaktayo Vividha Sarvaha. Vyaktayaha Vividhaha Sarvaha. All the Vyaktaya manifested. Manifested manyfold, manyfold. Vividhaha. Vyaktayaha. There are so many beings you can take everything, all types of creation with the Jadapada, Jada Srishti, Chetana Srishti, both. Chetana Srishti means what? That which carries Chidabhasa. Achetana Srishti, that which doesn't have Chidabhasa, Jada Padartha. What is Chetana Srishti? That which has Chidabhasa in it. So, sentient and insentient. In the matter he projected, some matter he reflected, it became sentient. So the play between sentient beings, and of course using the insentient, and among the sentient beings, so many, because of ignorance, raga, dvesha, adi sankulaha, and this entire various manifestations. How many varieties of beings are there on Earth, planet Earth? Sea creatures, you take sea creatures for example. How many are there? Anantarupa, Anantanama. So we just can't imagine and think about the magnitude of that expression. Therefore, here very clearly says that Vyaktayo Vividhaha, Sarvaha, all these various different manifestations have come about. Varieties of beings are created. And I tell you one thing, sir. We think that, whenever we say variety, our mind is only thinking of planet Earth. Because for our consideration or for our thinking, there is nobody in the vicinity of our perception in the universe. As per the science, we have searched so many star systems, nearby star systems. We could not find any life. Only human beings are there in the universe. But there must be somebody. We have to search for life on other bodies, other star systems, etc. But in our Vedas, Maharshis, everybody said very clearly, there are innumerable worlds, innumerable beings, innumerable shapes and sizes and colors and properties and qualities and powers. Innumerable. Like, a jiva born in monkey, by birth the monkey knows how to jump. Some creatures by birth they know how to swim. That is called due to upadhi dharma. The very fact that they got that upadhi, meaning they have inherent qualities in it. Similarly, some are born in other worlds. They have got some powers by birth. If somebody is born in Swarga, then by very virtue of taking birth in heaven, he doesn't feel hungry and thirsty. So various upadhi dharmas are there, upavira, seen and unseen. All this variety are what, like hatake katakadivat. They're all like different ornaments made out of gold. Means what? Everywhere, everything, in every padartha form, nothing but Vishnumayam, Sarvam Vishnumayam Jagat. So Bhagavan Krishna said again and again, I pervade everything, all this, O Arjuna. And in my ekamshen sthito jagat, in my small portion only, with that power portion only, I am holding the entire creation. I am all pervading. It is in me, Jagat is in me. So wonderful. Therefore, how what is all this created? Hatake Katakadivat. Meaning what? The substance with which everything is made is Vishnu. Vishnu, the Lord, the Ishvara, is the material cause of everything. And he is the efficient cause of everything. Just as ornaments are born out of gold, various bracelets, etc., other ornaments are created out of gold. Similarly, all these things are nothing but expressions of Narayana. So what should be the implication of this? One is for contemplation. Once we contemplate, so divisions, divided mind which is dividing us now, should be dropped. So I must start seeing practically everyone as nothing but expression of same Vishnu. If I start seeing practically everywhere, rising above our prejudices, rising above our limitations, a great Tibetan master has said one beautiful important thing. He says, three things are to be addressed by every spiritual student. One is greed. Greed for anything, not only for money, greed for anything that you want more and more. What do you call? Anala buddhi, analam. Alam means enough. Not enough buddhi. I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more. So one, we have to conquer this greed. Sometimes otherwise I say, I am greedy of certificates. I am greedy of medals. I am greedy of my presentations, gifts. No end for this. So one is greed. Forget about money greed is always there. Property and all that. Second thing, we must conquer hatred. Hatred towards any being, no hatred. If even somebody is expressing some kind of vulgarity, that is not essentially is vulgar, essentially is divine. Perhaps the mind around him, it is making him like that. So you must rise through the mind, and ultimately without hatred, if you can do vyavahar, it's a great sadhana it is. And third thing is very tough to conquer delusions. delusion that my experiences are real, my body pain is real, my suffering is real. These are all delusions only. Only when we awaken to the truth, these delusions will go. So he says we have to work upon greed, hatred, and delusions. So when these three are removed, I will see everyone, everything in the creation as nothing but expression of manifestation of same divinity. So this is a state which we have to attain, and we have to work hard for it at mental level, observing the mind, navigating the mind. We may have committed mistakes, doesn't matter. That's okay. But see that you will not repeat it again. So otherwise this entire expression is so variety, we get lost in variety. We don't see the oneness in diversity. That is Sattvic Drishti, as said by Bhagavan Krishna. So this is the beautiful verse. Satchidatmani anusyute nitye Vishnu prakalpa vyaktayo vividaha prakalpitaha sarvaha hatake katakadivat. All these things are imagined. Gold, you ask, gold doesn't know that are you in the form of a necklace or ring or anything else. Gold says, I don't know, I don't have any forms, I am I, that's it. Go and ask the water in the ocean. You have a lot of waves in your ocean. Ocean might say, I don't know what you are talking, waves, I don't know what waves and ocean, I am water, that's it, full stop. My experience is that I am water. I don't see I am wave form, big wave, small wave, I am in the form of a ocean. Water doesn't say anything, I am water, that's it. So therefore, so third, the 10th verse we will see. यथाकाशो हृषीकेशो यथाकाशो हृषीकेशो नानोपाधिगतो विभुः नानोपाधिगतो विभुः तद्भेदाद्भिन्नवद्भाति तद्भेदाद्भिन्नवद्भाति तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत् तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत्. All these varieties of expressions in the creation, are they real or unreal, or how they are actually unreal? It's only a myth, it's only an untrue, but all these are all real and really different from each other. That's all our illusion. The greatest illusion is that we are all separate. Only after realization we know that there is only one. So therefore, here in this sloka, one example is given. In every sloka, one example is given. Yatha akasha Rishikesho nanopadhigato vibhu. Rishikesha, that omnipresent truth here. Rishika, Indriyas, Ishaha, Lord, Lord of the senses. Senses means of every jiva in the entire creation. Supreme Lord, Rishikesha, who is Vibhu, who is all pervading. Vibhu, Nana Yatha Akashaha, Nana Upadhigataha, just as Nana Upadhigato Akashaha, just as space conditioned by various things, upadhis. Tad bhedat bhinnavad bhati. Tad upadhi bhedat. For example, how is the space? No, one thing. Space is infinite, number one. Number two, space is untainted, nirliptaha, untouched. Okay. Number two. Number three, space is indivisible. You cannot divide the space, you cannot cut the space, you cannot separate the space. Space is indivisible. Okay. Now, such an indivisible space which cannot be tainted, that space, which is all pervading that space, same space, we give different names. When it is conditioned by anything, any matter, the space is given a name. Very interesting. The space is given a name, pot space. In the space, there is no name called pot space because pot is indivisible. Sorry, space is indivisible. Though the pot is there, but it is pot, the structure of the pot is not dividing the space. Yet, we call, because of the appearance of the pot, we think that the space within the pot is assuming a name, pot space. Similarly, room space, bedroom space, bathroom space is not there. We have to extend the bathroom, kitchen space, dining space, balcony space, building space. Oh God. Now, it appears as though we are dividing the space. It is your line, it is your line. From here to that point is your point. Appears as though we are dividing. Why it is appearing as plenty? Because of upadhigataha, because of the upadhi conditionings, matter conditionings around the space. So one pot is gold pot. In the content also we put in one pot gold, in one pot silver, in one pot some other platinum. So platinum pot, gold pot, silver pot. And the adhishtanam is akasha. And that actually pot space is mere illusion. So tad upadhi bhedat, tad bhedat, tad upadhi bhedat, bhinnavat bhati. Bhinnavat, what prachay, it's like, as though they all shine, pot space, rooms, etc., as though they are different, from one another, they appear. Tannashe, upadhinashe. Upadhinashe means what? When pot is broken, when the walls of the houses are brought down. Even science also, you saw a star system existing in space, you give a name to the system also. In astronomy, they give their names to every, so many names are given. Even the asteroids are named to points of some numbers give, sometimes they put names also. So, but some star system a name is given. But after some time, the star may not exist. The system may not exist. And what remains is space, unconditioned. The indivisible space alone remains. So, upadhi bhedatan nashami doesn't mean we have to destroy our body now. To realize the truth, we don't have to destroy our body. Body will be destroyed eventually, let it be. We don't have to destroy deliberately the body. We don't have to break anything. The realization is important that I am like space, I am that consciousness, indivisible, all pervading. This I am actually infinity. But this upadhi making me feel that I am limited. But I have to awaken myself to the truth. This understanding, this awakening is enough. We don't have to destroy the upadhis. We don't have to understand that everything is one space. We don't have to literally break the walls of the house, a bedroom wall, the kitchen wall, all break and then to see the space is one. No need. And understanding is required. Therefore, ultimately, tannashe kevalo bhavet. Ultimately, you see only one homogeneous, all pervading, indivisible, taintless space which can accommodate everything. Whatever is, it exists in space alone. Space is supporting everything. At the same time, space cannot be divided. That is me. That means what? What I must do meditation is what? The divisions in me are a myth. For Vyavahara, I can continue for transactional purposes. But I will not accept it. My knowledge is something different. I may use a word earth rotation. Use the word earth is rotating, it's okay. But experience is earth is stagnant. I may use sunrise, but I know sun doesn't rise. Rising of the sun is myth. This understanding is enough. Even after understanding for Vyavahara's sake, when tomorrow morning sun rises at about 6 a.m., I think I'll be there. As soon as sunrise is there, I will be there in your house. You don't have to contract him. You know, sun never rises. Sun is stagnant with respect to solar system. So Vyavahara can continue. But that will not create any problem with my understanding that I understood, I awakened to the truth that I am infinity. So this is a beautiful Avachedavada, Pratibhimbavada, this is Avachedavada it is. There's one Vada in there, Veda, it's like Avachedanam. Like Akasha is there, limited by different parts, part spaces are created. Panchadashi it extends this example to various dimensions. How the first Adhyaropa, second Adhyaropa, so many Adhyaropas come, and then how we create mess of ourselves, we suffer consequently. All these things are super beautifully analyzed in Panchadashi in some chapters. So I am that. So what is the meditation? I am that unconditioned consciousness. So in Vyavahara, I should not have any hatred. Three things I told you: greed, hatred, and delusions will go away only when I spend a lot of time in meditation. So today I'll conclude here. 45 minutes over almost. I crossed for 2-3 minutes, doesn't matter. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Before we conclude today's live session, there are a few announcements that I'd like to make. First of all, gratitude to Swamiji for taking this session with all of us. And so I would request all of you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel on which this live stream is happening. The name of the channel, as would be visible on your screen, is Swami Chidrupanandji's Talks. So I would request you to kindly subscribe to the channel so that you keep getting updates on all of Swamiji's talks, which we keep uploading over here. And the video links for all the talks, they are also uploaded over here. And the live stream for all the subsequent sessions which are taking place in September would all be happening through YouTube Live. So I would request all of you to subscribe to the channel so that you keep getting updates of what is happening here. Thank you so much, and Hari Om. Looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Hari Om.